Hello, 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 hello.
Ah!
Okay, I think that's good.
Okay. You know, I have this really bad habit of I do this thing where I start listening to bands, and that's like really the only band that I'll listen to for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Like months on end.
Yeah.
And then I just stop listening to them.
Well, you gotta get sick of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like right now it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, yeah?
So I've been going through their discography, and I had forgotten how many good songs were on Californication.
That's their best album.
Oh, yeah. By a long shot.
Stadium Arcadium's really good, too.
Yeah, Stadium Arcadium's pretty good. But Californication, they have, of course, Californication. They have Under the Bridge. No, Under the Bridge was different.
Under the Bridge is Stadium Arcadium, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
I think so.
But one of the songs that I really like that I didn't realize was on there, and I had really honestly never heard it before, was This Velvet Glove. Have you ever heard it before? That's a really good song. I like that one a lot. But it just kind of goes to show you how I think people have forgotten how good the Red Hot Chili Peppers were.
You know, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people think that the Red Hot Chili Peppers are overrated and just straight up not good. And like, you know, I don't share that sentiment. I can see where people are coming from because a lot of people are contrarians, right? And they don't like things that are popular. I myself am kind of guilty of that. But it's like, you know, just look at the actual talent that's in that band. You know, namely Flea, the bassist.
Yeah.
An unreal, like, superbly talented bassist.
Yeah, he's one of the best bassists.
Yeah.
For any band that I've ever heard.
Yeah. And he can play in a bunch of different styles, too. And he can like, seamlessly, you know, transition between them. You know, he did the voice of Donnie from The Wild Thornberrys.
He looks like Donnie. I can see that.
The one who's like, wee, that guy. But yeah, him and I can't remember. The lead singer's name is like Anthony something. Sudeikis? That's somebody else.
Anthony Sudeikis, I think, is an actor, right? Wasn't he in Horrible Bosses?
Perhaps.
That's Jason Sudeikis, I think.
It's Anthony something.
Yeah.
But now they do have that one song where he goes nang nang nong nang nong nang nong. And they just let him run with that.
They're weird guys. Like they're weird guys, but at the same time, that weirdness also gets you really, really good songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, weird people are creative people.
Yeah.
They don't think like normal people.
Yeah. Where it's not like Metallica, where it's like all their songs are
yeah, hoorah, hoorah, yeah. Like Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah.
On the sea layer, on a front bow letters. You're like, what?
I remember as a kid. What are you saying? I remember as a kid listening to Pearl Jam. And I was just like, what in the world is this guy saying?
Yeah. I can tell you, like, even now, like, I'll look up, like, lyrics to the songs and be like,
you're like, that's not what he says.
That's not what he's saying. Like that one I was just saying was like Yellow Ledbetter, I think that song's called.
Well, there was that one. There's like Jeremy was another one where it's like Jeremy spoke.
He's a little bit more articulate in that one. You can kind of pick up what he's saying. But like some of those first couple songs, it's just like I don't think he is saying anything. I think he's just making noise.
If you ever go back and listen to like the 90s music, you ever notice how there's a very particular sound that the lead singer has? And Allison used to get really pissed at me because I did this all the time. And I didn't understand why I was doing it. But then I thought back on like the music that I listened to. Pearl Jam, like all the grunge artists.
Audio Slave.
even the lead singer from Creed did it.
Yeah.
Where it's like that.
No, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. They did all do that shit. Oh. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything. They all have that like schmutz in their throat. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, what was up with that? Why'd they all do that? I guess it was just one of them started it and it popped off, and the rest of them were like, "That's the key.
Yeah,
that's the secret.
That's the move right
Yeah.
there." Yeah, they all did that. Well, I mean, it's like look at modern hip hop nowadays. Like mumble rap is real big, still is real
That's
big.
true.
They all mumble, and even like their cadence is the same, song to song and from artist to artist. Like they all sound the same to me. That might just be because I'm old and I'm out of touch with what the kids are into.
No.
But I mean, I feel like it's quantifiable. Yeah, they all sound the exact same.
Yeah, I think too. I don't listen to too much of like today's music just because it's just too much for me to keep up with. Like, I'm at the point in my life where I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, you know what? Like, I'll listen to the radio every once in a while, but most of the time I'm just on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I just listen to the things that I know.
Yeah. And just stay in my own little world over here.
Yeah.
Like I've seen enough, I've heard enough.
Yeah, I'm good over here.
Yeah.
Like, y'all have fun over there, but I'm going to stay over here.
It's like, and the artists will do that weird thing too, where like they suddenly switch genres,
Oh, yeah.
and that almost never really pans out for anybody.
Who was it?
It worked out for Darius Rucker.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how long was he in Hootie and the Blowfish? It wasn't that long. He was another one that did that.
Oh my God, he was.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, yeah, he totally did do that.
Yeah, what song was it? What was their big one that they put out?
All I Want to Be With You.
Yeah. Oh, I won't be right here.
All I Want to Be With You. Oh yeah, he did do that shit.
And so,
Damn
you see what I'm
Hootie.
saying? Like, I
Yeah.
went back and I was like, why the fuck do I do that when I'm singing? And then I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's what I heard.
Yeah, that's what I was inspired by.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. I never even considered that.
Well, who was it? Didn't Garth Brooks do that? He like had like a rock album or something.
Did he?
Yeah, his name was like Schmutz My Foots or something.
like a ghostwriter. The lead singer from Red Hot Chili Peppers tried to do a solo thing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a song called like "Your Pussy Nailed to a Wall." Like he was, yeah, it was like he went off the deep end with like heroin or something and came up with
Yeah,
some
and
really
he
wild
had a
shit.
real bad problem with drugs.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I would have. I mean, it doesn't surprise me to hear that, but
No, I think because a lot of them have problems with drugs like that, right?
well, I think that's just kind of part of that scene.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, did you ever see The Dirt?
No, I haven't.
That I don't know. It's not a documentary, but it's like a documentary / film about Motley Crue. It's really good, by the way.
Speaking of people who can't understand what they're singing.
Good old Vince Neil. I had posted a picture of that, because I dressed up as Vince Neil for that party.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies, CJ, I think he also listens to the podcast, so shout out to CJ. He had commented, he said Vince Meal.
Vince Meal. They're like Vince Veal.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Well, I mean, he was out of practice. Like, you can find that video of where they did that that awful performance of Kickstart My Heart. He sounded bad. The band, everybody
the band
else
sounded fantastic.
The band sounded great, but Vince was just not hitting. Yeah, he wasn't hitting those notes. He couldn't hold them out as long as he could. But I mean, he sobered up and got fat, and didn't do it for a long time, and then tried to jump back into it.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh.
Yeah, ooh.
Yeah, it's like when you haven't been to the gym for a long time, and you jump back in, and you try to do what you were doing before you stop. You just make an ass of yourself.
That was such a bad performance.
It was.
Like that they had to have practiced before that. They had to have at least a couple times.
Oh.
Like there's no way they just went up there cold. Like, we'll figure this out while we're up there. Like,
I wonder what that first run through was like. If they all looked at each other like, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, is it Slash? Was
the guitarist? Yeah.
And if I'd have been Slash, I'm like, there's no way that I'm hitching my wagon to this. Like, I'm one of the most renowned guitar players that has ever lived. Like, I'm not going to be a part of this.
Well, in that video, there's a part at the end where Vince tries to like hit like a he goes wow like that, and you can see Slash start cracking up laughing. He's just like the camera's right on him, and you just see him go like, oh my god.
He goes, "Mow,
mow." Keith, I'm a hobby. You know, he's kind of like a caricature of what he did sound like. Because, you know, when you go back and you listen to, like, those Motley Crue songs, like, from the heyday, like Kickstart My Heart, what's another one? Girls.
was it Welcome to the Jungle? Was one of the, yeah.
No, that was, that's Guns N' Roses.
Was it Guns N' Roses?
I believe so.
I always get them mixed. It was like, I always get Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, and Poison mixed up.
Well, those hair bands were kind of all the same thing, you know.
My favorite hair band is Steel Panther.
I fucking love Steel Panther. They are fantastic.
Yeah,
it's like even though they're a parody of all that, they have the talent that they could have been that in that era.
Oh yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? They I don't know if they kicked out Lexi Steel, or
I thought that he left.
Or he left. Something happened, but their bassist quit.
Yeah, I think he left. Yeah.
Yeah, but that dude, they pull off that look so well.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't remember the name
to a T.
Yeah, to a T, to a fucking T. Like, I don't remember the name of the guitarist, the guy with the brown hair, but he looks exactly like Nick Mars.
He does. Yeah.
From Motley Crue.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
In that documentary, The Dirt, the guy that plays Bolton Ramsey, he plays Nick Mars in.
Oh, really?
In that, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I didn't know that because I've never seen that movie before. So
that movie's wild too. It was like a Netflix special.
Yeah,
and it's like so not the kind of content that Netflix puts out nowadays, and like this current like woke atmosphere that they've got going on.
Did you see where Netflix pretty much told everybody to shut the fuck up about Dave Chappelle?
I did not.
Yeah,
I thought that they caved to all the people that walked out. Really?
Nope.
Wow, what a victory.
Yeah, Netflix was like, nope.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, get over it.
Wow.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. Get over it.
Yeah, if you watch the special, yeah, he made jokes about like trans people and like all that other stuff, but at the same time, he also addressed why he was doing it.
Yeah.
It's like he's like, obviously you guys aren't understanding that there are no sacred cows.
Yeah.
And so I get to make fun of everything because I'm a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so I guess I have to explain it to you while I'm telling these jokes. And like at the same time, it's like if you're having to explain why it is that you're telling jokes, like guess what? Comedians lie.
Yeah.
They lie. Like this is not real stories.
Yeah.
It's lies.
Yeah, they're putting on a show.
Yeah, to make you laugh.
Yeah. It's like if an actor portrays a character in a show that is homophobic or transphobic or whatever, they don't try and cancel that actor.
Well, I also don't think that Bryan Cranston's trying to make fucking meth in a trailer.
Yeah. It's like I don't it's like you have to look at the fact that you laugh at everything else that the guy does, but as soon as it's pointed at you, all of a sudden you just can't have that. That's you can't touch that subject, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't get that. And I'm actually really surprised that Netflix...
Oh, I was very surprised that Netflix pretty much told people to kick rocks.
Yeah, kind of stood in Dave's corner.
Absolutely.
Because corporations like that, especially media corporations, are very quick to appease the crowd.
And I hope that I'm not misquoting what the CEO said, but he essentially said it was... He said, what was it? Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words here. He essentially said that it's the same argument that people had about violence in video games and music. And he's like, it doesn't equate.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
He's like, it's the same argument that we had back in the early 2000s during the school shootings and all that stuff. And they were blaming Doom and all these other video games and all this music. Yeah. And it doesn't equate.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what does equate? Bad fucking parenting.
Yeah.
That's what equates.
Yeah, for sure.
Is sticking your kid in front of a fucking iPad and being like, fuck off and leave me alone.
Letting YouTube raise your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So I was glad to hear that. I was glad to hear that Netflix was like, no, like he's not advocating for violence against fucking trans people. Mm-hmm. He's up there telling jokes, and he told jokes about everybody else. Mm-hmm. He literally told a joke about him watching black people beat up Asian people and how he got the coronavirus. He's like, and I think that's what's going on inside my body.
You know, it's funny because like I can watch Dave as, you know, as a white man, and he shits on white people all the time.
All the time.
Because there's a lot of comedy there.
Yeah.
And I laugh at it because it's funny.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's a parody.
Yeah.
It's like it's an over exaggeration.
It's like I know that if I met Dave Chappelle, and I wasn't, you know.
You almost did one time.
I almost did, you know, and I wasn't.
Other than you puking all over yourself and wearing a fucking MLK shirt that was like 2 sizes too small.
If you want to hear that story, go listen to episode 6, I think it was.
You imagine if he just saw you in that?
Oh yeah.
You could have been like, he was like, oh, that's gonna be good material.
I'd be like, Mr. Chappelle, please don't. Grab me some solace here. I'm having a bad day. But yeah, it's like, and I know that like if I met him, he wouldn't, you know, stab me in the throat because I'm white. That seems to be what they think they would do if he met a trans person.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's their argument, but I don't think that their argument is founded in any type of reality. It's like if you ever met him and talked to him, yeah. It's like I don't think that he'd be like I hate you.
Yeah.
Like, I hate you. I hate you.
Like wiggling his fingers in your face. Yeah. It's like, you know, just because somebody makes a joke about something doesn't mean that they hate that thing.
No.
A lot of times it's just there is comedy there, and comedians are going to be the people who see that and pull that out. You know, it's like Bill Burr, a couple of his specials, like if you listen to his podcast, he says it a few times, it's like, this is just me working my way through all this new information. I have to make jokes about it in order to get through it myself. You know, it's like you have to let people learn the way they learn.
Yeah. One of the things I really like about Bill Burr's podcast is that because he does it by himself, he rambles a lot.
Yeah.
So you can hear him start to work out some of his bits, like in his podcast, and then like you'll see like a special come out, and you'll be like, "Hey, I've heard that before." Like,
well, it's like we went to go see him recently. Unfortunately, you didn't get to go.
Yeah, I was out at work.
Because you were at work, but me and Aaron and Dad went to go see him, and
how was it? Was it good?
It was really good.
Yeah, he's great. I love Bill.
Dean Del Rey opened up for him.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I've never seen him before. I've heard he's really good, too.
He was funny, too.
Yeah.
He's a lot more animated than Bill is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, both shows were fantastic. But it's kind of funny when you go to see a comedian, you know, do a show like that. You can tell, you know, that they're working on their material. And they're throwing these ideas at you, and they're saying, okay, well, that doesn't work that great. This is great. So when that special comes around, that special is usually like, you know, the amalgamation of all the stuff that they worked on and the good stuff that landed really well.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah,
like,
they're just trying to kill the whole time.
Yeah. So it's like when we went to go, me and Aaron went and seen him a few years ago, and then his special Paper Tiger came out. A lot of the jokes that he told at that show were in that special, but he had reworked them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that creative process going on. Especially like, and I'm not, like I've said before, I'm not trying to put myself in the same boat.
No, but you do
comedian.
have an understanding because you went through that process of actually doing like a set or whatever.
That's all I was trying to say is I kind of, you know, I can kind of see the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of see the processes. And of course, every comedian's going to have their own process. Like you know, me versus my classmates, we all had our own process. Like there was one guy who went and did the show, the graduation show. I kind of styled my set off of like storytelling and kind of like, you know, segueing into the next thing. There was another guy who went up there, and his set was kind of just like a stream of consciousness. It was just like one sentence after another, and he killed. He did great. Yeah. But it, like his deadpan delivery was so fucking funny. It was almost like he didn't want to be there. Yeah. Or like, you know, he was just like, all right, here's my joke. I wish I could remember that guy's name because he actually does comedy, and I could kind of shout him out. But
Did he go? He kept going with it, or
Yeah, he
was
stayed
that
with
his
it.
first time in the comedy class, or was
No,
he just kind of?
He was just kind of workshopping, I think.
Yeah.
And that was there was a couple people there that did that. Like there was another guy, Will Foskey, is his name. He's also an aspiring comedian. He's really funny too.
No.
I think he went on after me. He was the last one to go up. But yeah, I'm not trying to say like I'm the same thing as Bill Burr. I'm absolutely not.
No.
But I do see,
You understand
I see the work that's put in.
You sort of understand the process of how they get there,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people think. I think a lot of people don't understand how that process kind of happens. Like I've heard like comedians, because I listen to Bill Burr's podcast and I listen to like Theo Vaughn's podcast and like all that.
Theo Vaughn's hilarious.
Oh, I love Theo Vaughn. He's not necessarily so much, his stand-up's pretty good, but his podcast, I really like his podcast. His podcast is really good.
It's just like a peek inside his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's a fucking weird dude.
That's kind of what all podcasts are, It's just like a look inside of somebody's head.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine that's probably like what people get from this one a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, I've heard people tell me before that our podcast sounds like you're just kind of sitting in the room with us while we're bullshitting.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what me and you do.
Yeah.
Is we sit in this room and we bullshit for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we could probably start going longer because I had to buy more time through Buzzsprout for our podcast because we started doing more podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
So now we have 12 hours a month. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but 8 wasn't enough.
yeah.
I was like, well, kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't, I guess.
Yeah. I think the well, let's go ahead and bring the podcast in. You want to do it or me do it?
You go ahead and do it.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Thicc Bois podcast. This is episode number 18. My name is Gary. I'm here with my older brother Wesley.
Hello, everybody.
And I was just going to say that I think that I feel that we've done a great job putting out content here recently.
I think we've done a lot better job than we had been doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Comparatively, we've done a really good job.
I think we're like almost like 4 or 5 for 5 week episodes.
We're 5 for 5 right now.
Yeah.
We're doing real good.
Yeah, we're doing real good. We're going to try and keep this steam, keep this momentum going here. And we're here doing another in-person podcast. I like it's kind of funny, like our in-person podcasts have our in-person episodes have like a different feel to them than like our remote ones.
Yeah.
Our remote ones I think are still good, but they're like a different kind of thing altogether.
Yeah, I think when we do the remote podcast, they get a little bit more serious. I'm not sure why that happens.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Whereas, like, if we're just sitting in front of each other, it's like, then we're essentially just trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah, we're just kind of goofing off.
Yeah, we're just being jackasses.
Yeah, we started talking about, like, addiction and abortion and, like, the government. When you get in front of each other, we start singing like Eddie Vedder. Oh, man. I saw something funny today. There was this kid. I was at the grocery store. And there was this kid, and he was in front of me. So, like, we're both pushing, like, I'm pushing my buggy. His mom's in front of him. And I could tell that, like, he's got a lot of energy. Because he's kind of, like, just jumping up and down. And he's just, like, grabbing things and everything. His mom's like, please calm down. And he's just like, and at one point, he just starts going. He just reached like critical mass and couldn't contain it anymore.
Just imagine, I imagine like Beavis. He's like,
yeah, he did. It just escaped him. Like, it's like I remember being a kid and like just having that much energy. And it's like you can't do anything with it, so your whole body just like expels it. It comes out of every limb. like a fucking Tasmanian devil. That kind of thing.
It's funny because I see Autumn do that sometimes.
I was about to ask. That's what I wanted to ask you. Does Autumn do that? Just spaz out.
Oh, yeah, she'll spaz out. I'm like, yep. Like being a kid, that's what that is.
Yeah, it's like a reactor meltdown.
Yeah,
it's like all this pent up energy, and then it just explodes.
Well, it's funny because think people get like super mad at kids for like doing shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you never did that as a kid?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I used to lean over the fucking thing at angles and huff the goddamn Freon.
Is that what that was? I had thought about that the other day. Because because I had said, I don't remember what it was, but I just had this memory. I was like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to like lean over the little like refrigerated trays that had like the lunch meat in it and get like a head rush off of the vent.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what that was. Nobody ever stopped me from doing it.
I'm pretty sure it's Freon.
Yeah. We were getting high. The whole time we were just getting fucking high. We were huffing Freon. Had no fucking idea. I wonder how that affected me. Because I did it every time.
Oh, yeah. Every time we went in there, I was like looking around.
Yeah. Just, and then you stand up, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that's a shit.
That's too fucking funny. I wonder if kids still do that.
I don't know. I think maybe we're just the only ones that figured it out. I've never seen another kid do that.
I've never seen another kid do that. Nobody's even said anything.
Nobody's ever mentioned that they've done that before.
You're the only person I've ever had a conversation with about doing that.
Yeah, because you asked me what I was doing one day, and I told you.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, you were like, what are you doing?
You're like, I don't know, but this feels good.
I was like, I don't know. Lean over and smell it.
If I had no scruples, the next time I go to the grocery store,
just do it.
Just get on my hands and knees, and just just get high right there in Kroger. I can't believe they're giving this shit away for free.
Oh God.
Yeah, people get upset with kids too easily because I think what it is people interact with other adults more than they interact with children. So you're kind of used to like
a certain level of
like social responsibility.
Yeah.
That's not to say that people aren't out there acting like assholes, because they are, but it's like you're not gonna like if you walked into Quick Trip and there was some guy like an adult male standing there going
like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you would back out of the store facing that guy. You wouldn't turn your back on him. So when they get around,
that guy's been huffing Freon over the Kroger.
So when you see a kid do that, I think that's why people get upset, because they're like, you're interrupting the flow of, society here.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, that's like a small child. They don't understand. They just know that they're all fucked up on sugar and YouTube, and they just can't hold it in anymore.
And isn't it strange too? It's like when people are like, they get upset because they're like, you're not abiding by the rules of society, and it's like, well, what the fuck even is society, man?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Who's decided what we are and what we aren't
doing? Like, how did I get born into this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Like, into this fucking machine.
Yeah, fucking cog in the machine over here. How dare this little kid over here have some spice in his life?
Yeah.
Huffing Freon and freaking the fuck out in the grocery store. It reminds me of when me and Mary went on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
We took a cruise, and on the last day, so you have a day at sea, which is I guess when the boat's just like in transit between ports or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or you can just do stuff on the ship, and there's plenty of shit to do. You could fill up a whole day easy on a cruise ship. But they had given Mary, because it was our honeymoon, they had given her a free massage voucher thing. Mm-hmm. And so she went to go get a massage, and then I was like, I want to go to the casino, because they had like a casino deck or whatever. I was like, I don't want to play. I just want to play roulette. I just want to see what that's all about. Yeah. Because prior to that, my experience with the casino was when we went to Murphy that one time, and I lost $200 in 15 minutes on video poker.
Oh.
So I was like, man, fuck this shit. Like, I don't ever want to do this again. But then I saw people playing roulette, and I was like, that looks like fun. So I just wanted to try it out. And I told her, I was like, when you get done with your massage, I was like, you just go back to the room, because it's likely where I'll be. I was like, if I'm not there, then I'm still at the casino or whatever.
Yeah.
So Mary goes and gets a massage, and it's like a 2.5 hour long massage. She goes back to the room expecting me to be there, and I'm not. And she's like, oh, fuck. But I was killing it, man, on roulette. The first time I'd ever played roulette. At one point, I had all of the red chips, and the dealer was having to get cash from me, and I felt like such a fucking badass.
You're balling the fuck out.
And they were giving me like free drinks and stuff, so I would start making bad decisions. I'm pretty sure at one point I had
all of a sudden there's like the big like ham hock hand like grab you on the shoulder.
Fucking pit boss. Take me down to the boiler room and break all my bones. Yeah, I think at one point I probably had upwards of $4,000.
Good God.
And I had sat down with 50. I left with about 300.
Yeah.
So I was still up.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was like if I would have...
Yeah, well, they're trying to feed you drinks because the house always wins.
Oh, the house always wins. I wasn't about to walk away from the table, turning 50 into 5,000.
Yeah.
That wasn't about to happen. But the reason I brought it up was because... so Mary was getting her massage. That the deck where the massage room parlor was directly below the daycare deck. So the whole time she's getting her massage,
just feet.
It's just fucking calamity on the deck above her. She was like, I did not enjoy my massage at all.
Yeah.
She was like,
what fucking engineer designed that ship like that?
Just put, the room where you're supposed to relax, just put the rumpus room right above that.
It's always funny too, like when you see kids like we'll take my daughter to the park. And it's just fucking anarchy.
Yeah.
Like, just, if you want to see what society is without rules, go to a playground with a bunch of kids where the parents aren't paying attention.
It's just pure humanity.
Yeah. Like, you see all of it.
Yeah.
Like, you see kids, like, being nice and, like, trying to be sweet to one another. And then you see, like, some kids run by and just slap the fuck out of another kid, like, in the back of the head. And then, like, the kid starts crying. And then all of a sudden, like, there's two groups of kids, like, start fighting one another.
Yeah. It's that they're acting on pure instinct.
Yeah.
Whatever pops into their head in that moment, that's you gotta act on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids are fucking wild. I mean, there was there's always been that idea of like, what if you just like that Lord of the Flies situation? What if you just took a bunch of kids and you just put them in like a little society themselves, gave them no direction or anything? What would happen? What would become of them?
I think it kind of depends on the people that are in the situation, right? I mean, I think that some people are more prone to aggressive acts, or acts of violence than like other people are. I think
that naturally they would find a leader.
Yeah,
because I think humans do that because humans are pack animals, so there's always an alpha, right?
No.
But it is interesting to see kids because kids don't fit in a society the way kids are.
No.
Like it takes a long time
to condition them,
mash and conform them into this thing. They grow up being fucking psychopaths like everybody else. So when you give them that little bit of freedom,
because everybody's fighting that same thing that kid was fighting in the grocery store. Because like you'll see somebody sitting in a car like in traffic, and they're just freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, dude. When they don't think somebody's looking, you see them just fucking losing it.
And it's funny because I've done that.
Oh yeah, I have too. It's just like a hot wave. It just comes up from
all this anger.
It just starts at the top of your head and just pours down over your whole body.
Yeah, and you're just like.
That's kids, just humanity unleashed.
Just all the time.
Just all the goddamn time.
I think the only thing that saves us is just like the older that you get, the more tired you become. You're just like, I can't do that anymore.
You don't have the energy.
I don't have the energy for that
it's
anymore.
Like I've expended so much energy at work and just trying to, meet deadlines and,
pay for my fucking house.
Yeah, just do all this other shit. Like I'm so laser focused on this area of my life that I forget that I'm a fucking human being that's completely full of energy. Yeah. And you gotta let it go.
Yeah, you gotta let it go.
I think that's why people crack and they snap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why you gotta have a hobby. That's why you gotta have an outlet.
I know that one thing I've noticed since the last podcast that we did is that I've tried to make a conscious effort of like being like more active and like doing more things, like trying to get that energy out. Because I know for a fact that when I do it, it does make me feel better. Mm-hmm. But like the process of like getting into
finding that motivation,
I'm just like I don't want to go fucking do it.
Yeah.
But So I've started doing...
But you always feel better.
But I always feel better, right?
And you're like, I'm glad I did
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So it's like, essentially I have to like sit there and like berate myself. Like, you fat fucking piece of shit. Go get your ass on that elliptical, you sorry fuck.
Look at your fucking titties melting into your belly. Like, sitting there like a melted ice cream cone. Get the fuck off the couch.
That's the only way that I know to be how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess some people are just like, hey, like, it makes me feel good, and I'm gonna go do it, and we're gonna have a good day.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, I have to like put my hands like on the fucking sink and like look myself in the eyes. Look at you fucking piece of shit.
Allison's like, are you okay? Like, no, this is good for me. Yeah, I'm the same way. You know, it's like on the last episode I had mentioned, like, there's that other voice in my head that's like, don't worry about it, man. Like, you did good. You know, you're fine. Just relax. Take it easy.
Yeah.
And, like, if I give in to that one time, that's it.
Yeah, it's not like you don't just give into it one time.
No.
Like, you give into it just that one time.
Yeah.
And then that's all you do.
Yeah.
And then you go down this path.
Yeah.
And then you have to end up being like me, leaning over the counter, berating yourself in the fucking mirror like a goddamn psychopath.
Like punching yourself in the head. Well, I think that, you know, I mean, it's just people are different, right?
Yeah.
It's, you know, people who, it's the people who can just say, you know, I'm going to do X, and then they just do X. They're not even thinking about the fact that they're having to motivate themselves to do it. They simply just do. It's like instinct. Yeah. And some people are not like that. Me myself, I'm not like that.
No.
Like, I gotta like work up the, you know, the motivation to do like almost anything. like
the same way.
It's like everything, every action is like a battle. It's like today, like on my way home from work, I was like, I need to stop and get groceries. And because I needed to, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And I was like, all I gotta do is I just gotta pull this truck into the Kroger parking lot. I'm like, it's coming up. Just turn the wheel. Go to Kroger. Go to Kroger. And it's like, why was that such a battle?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm the same way. Like, I changed the fucking oil in one of our cars today, and like the whole time I was sitting on the couch. And I was just like, okay, we're getting up. Just like I just like got up. I was like, okay, well, I'm going out the door. I just like went out the door. And then once I got in the car, I was like, well, I'm already in the car. Better go to O'Reilly's.
Yeah, it's you know, I don't know what that says about me as a person, that I have to fight myself to do anything. It's like, if I really just let myself.
Do you think that there's more people like that, or do you think that there's more people like you and me, where it's like you have to kind of make yourself do it?
You know,
I think there's a lot of people that are like you and me, but that they don't force themselves to do it.
What do you mean?
Like, I think there's a lot of people that feel the exact same way that we feel. They're like, I need to, but I really don't want to.
But they just do.
And then they just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, you know that's what you're supposed to do.
They're not fighting themselves the entire way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine that there's, I think me and you are probably the outliers.
You think so?
Yeah, I think we're outnumbered. Because if it was the majority of people were like me and you,
I don't think society could function.
I don't think it could. I don't think it could. Like me as president would be horrible.
Oh yeah,
that would be
real
a terrible
bad.
thing.
Yeah, real bad.
Oh, I gotta give her run the country today.
I'd be like, 5 more minutes. Fuck off and leave me alone.
Sir Iran's on the phone. Tell him to fuck off.
Like, you know what? I quit.
Yeah, fuck this job.
Would be the only sitting president in history. So like, I'm over this.
I'm
just
done.
like
Fuck this.
Leave in the middle of the night.
And you want to talk about a job that fucking sucks your soul out.
Oof.
I mean, fucking Barack Obama was
Except for old Donnie.
Yeah, well, he was already mostly, you know.
That dude's something else.
He
I don't
is.
like how in the world Like, are they shooting him up with stuff?
They must be.
That's the only reasonable explanation for that dude to get fucking COVID, and for him to be this 70-year-old fat diabetic man.
Yeah, that lives on McDonald's
and just beat it, just beat it like his fucking meat.
Yeah, he beat it just as well as Melania did.
Yeah. Like, it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, I almost don't even believe he had it. I think Melania probably had it. And he didn't want to be left out.
Yeah, he's like, I had it too.
Yeah, and we beat it. It was fantastic. It was like, Obama was like 39 or in his early 40s.
I think he was like
42. He
was
the youngest
office?
president. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, so he went. So let's say he goes in at 42. 8 years later, he came out at 85.
He looked
his
fucking old.
Soul got sucked out of him.
He looked old.
So it was like that tells you probably just how stressful that fucking job is.
And I think you think that, like, when a lot of these guys run for president, like, they have like an idea of what it is that they're going to do, and then they get in there, and do you think that people are like, hey, I think they're like, we heard what you said, but let us tell you how things really fucking happen.
Yeah. Like, you get in there and you're probably like, oh shit, this is not at all what I was thinking it was going to be.
Like, they sit you down and like aliens come down and sit, they'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. This is how things go, pal. Well, if Donald Trump is to be believed, he has already spoke with the aliens who have a base on Mars. So what the fuck?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was like, we're working closely with the Martians on the... Like, what are you talking about?
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Never seen anything like it.
I think one of the reasons why he was so successful is because he was able to take really complex, like, thoughts and ideas. Like, not that his thoughts and ideas were complex. I don't think that they are.
Yeah.
But I think, like, as a whole, like, when you run as a president on, like, a platform, like, these things that you're running on, they're very difficult to sort of to, like, idealize and make people understand, like, how it is that you're going to do it.
Like, how to convey it to the layman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good at taking really complex thoughts and ideas and dumbing them down.
Yeah.
As far as he could get it to where everybody understood.
Yeah.
Everyone. Whether you agreed with him or not, that's not the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that
you knew what he was going to do.
You knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Right? And you knew that, like, he used real simple words, and he repeated those words over and over and over again, right?
I think that was like a business thing.
I think so, too.
Probably come from, like, his business training.
Yeah.
Or his business experience. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a wild card.
He's a wild man.
Yeah, he absolutely
He was a wild
is.
dude.
Yeah.
He was a wild dude before he ran for president.
Yeah, he didn't play by the rules.
No.
And I think that's why that's why he garnered a lot of opposition.
Yeah. Like,
also, he said a lot of racist stuff as the president, so that's kind of also a problem.
I just remember some of his speeches. I'd be like, "Ooh,
yeah,
that was hot."
Yeah, it was like when your grandpa speaks in front of your friends. All right, what's he gonna say? What's gonna come out?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, fuck. It's pretty much all the fucking presidents. Well, it's like, look at fucking Biden now, man. Like, that dude he has no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, if they pump him full of some stuff and then, like, he kind of, like, comes back online. But, like, most of the time, like, when he's talking, he's not there. There's nobody there. Yeah. There's nobody home.
Mm-hmm. He's like, he is the president that made me finally, 100% believe that the presidency is probably just a figurehead.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because that man... he can't run a bath.
No.
He doesn't have a solid thought in his head.
No.
And, a lot of people are saying, here's the thing that people were getting angry because people were making fun of him for having dementia. It's like, okay, I know for a fact that if there was a Republican with dementia in there, you'd be making fun of him for it, so don't act like you're so much better.
Yeah, everybody's had this.
Be honest with yourself.
Yeah, everybody has like this self-righteous indignation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the same shit we always talk about: introspection and people how they refuse to do it.
No empathy,
no introspection, and well, I'm just what my fucking tribe says goes, and fuck them guys over there. Yeah. That's essentially what it is.
I'm Team A, so fuck Team B.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing too. So something that's happened recently in media is Alec Baldwin accidentally.
It's not funny.
It's not.
It's not funny.
It's not.
But the funny part about it is that he's a fucking hypocrite. That's the funny part about it. It's like for you to talk all that fucking shit that you were talking, and then not to check the fucking chamber, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Why was I handed a loaded gun? Why are you pointing a gun, at a person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't get to ask that fucking question.
Yeah.
If you're the person pulling the fucking trigger, you are solely responsible for what happens at the business end of that fucking barrel.
Yeah. And a woman has lost her life because of it.
So, and I didn't understand. So, he didn't shoot another actor. He shot a cinematographer, which I'm assuming is like a cameraman or something like that.
I thought he shot the director.
Did he shoot the director? Two people got in.
One person died and one person got injured.
And one person got injured. I thought that the
cinematographer... Which, considering he fired it once, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Like, from what I understand, I thought it was the cinematographer that died and the director got hurt or injured. So, it's vice versa. Mm-hmm. I read cinematographer somewhere in there. So, I'm assuming it was like a head-on, like some type of we're gonna show him shooting the gun this way,
at the camera,
like with the muzzle flash and all that shit or whatever, because it's supposed. I guess it's supposed to be like a western or something like that he was filming. So, and I understand them wanting to use maybe like blanks or something like that.
Well, blanks are still dangerous.
Well, they're still dangerous, but essentially all a blank is it's this cartridge just without the projectile.
Like I could hurt you
with packing and everything.
From me to you, I could hurt you with a blank.
Yeah, it
wouldn't kill you.
Yeah,
but it would hurt you.
If you shot it in my head, it'd kill me. Yeah, just from the concussive force of it. But I mean, the deal is that
there was a live round in that gun.
Before you get ready to shoot that gun, it is your responsibility as the person that is pulling the trigger to ensure, number one, that you have proper gun safety, and number two, that if you are on a set, that you need to ensure that is not a live round that is in the chamber, and it's pretty easy to check to see whether or not it's a live round.
Especially in a revolver.
Yeah, in a fucking revolver.
Yeah, not like if it was a pistol.
Yeah. So, regardless, and don't get me wrong, I feel for him. I don't think that he did it on purpose.
No. So I feel bad for him knowing that he's going to have to live with that guilt.
I certainly have empathy for him for the fact that he shot and killed somebody and didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
However, it was his responsibility to ensure that number one, that wasn't a live round, and that number two, all the safety checks had been gone through to make sure that wasn't a live round.
Well, people start pointing fingers, right?
Yeah.
And you start looking at, if you point a finger at me, that person you point a finger at, they could turn around and point a finger at somebody else, and then it just keeps going and going.
Exactly.
And going. It's like at the end of the day, why was there live rounds on the movie set anyway?
No.
Why were those even there? They even went after the girl that whose job it is to work with all those weapons, and she ended up saying, "I never felt I was ready for the job." Then okay, well,
then why were you hired?
Were you there?
Yeah.
Somebody has not lost their life because of that.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at why she died, at the end of the day, she died because a loaded gun was pointed at her and someone pulled the trigger. That's why she died.
Yeah. But not only that, but if it was the cinematographer that he shot and killed, if it was the cameraman or the camerawoman or whoever it was, if I was that person, I'd be like, there is no fucking way that you're pointing that fucking gun at me and shooting the fucking gun at me.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that fucking revolver.
Oh, yeah.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I don't fucking mess around with that shit.
Yeah, absolutely fucking not. I will be checking that fucking revolver before you fucking pull the trigger. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, it's a tragedy what happened.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. I feel bad, of course, for the woman that died and her family.
Well, and it's important because I think as a society, we've gotten to a point where we've demonized guns so much that people don't understand proper weapon safety anymore.
Yeah.
Where people need to understand that these aren't toys.
Yeah.
They're not fucking toys. They've never been fucking toys. They're tools.
Yeah.
That's what they are. They're tools to protect yourself and to provide food for your family if you decide to do it that way.
Well, I mean, the thing is, as soon as I read the headline, and I hate that this is what happened, But my immediate thought was, people are going to use this for political gain.
Absolutely.
This tragedy that has happened.
No.
And so I started looking out for, because I knew it was coming. I knew people were going to, dig up all his old tweets and
Oh, yeah.
this, that, and the other. I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But I also knew these people were going to try to jump out ahead of it.
Oh, yeah.
I saw this comment from this one girl, on Facebook, of course, and she was like, something about something. A white man has murdered a woman, and it was like,
was that necessary?
How is it?
Yeah, was it necessary to say that?
Like, why did you jump to race?
Yeah.
Like, are you that focused on? It was a white girl, of course.
Yeah.
It was like, why are you that preoccupied? Well, this is not a race thing. This is an accident.
Yeah.
Is what this is. Nobody murdered anybody because of anything.
Yeah.
Somebody died.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Because of,
I'm pretty sure that he wasn't walking around the set like, oh, I'm fucking white. I just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I shoot the fucking gun wherever I want.
Yeah.
Like, people have gotten to into this point where it's like they'll do these like mental gymnastics in order to like verify like their position or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like we always say, right? It's like it's the lack of empathy, it's the lack of introspection, and trying to put yourself in that person's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel bad for the person that lost her fucking life, first and fucking foremost, because she didn't know it was fucking coming.
Yeah, she didn't deserve to
She didn't deserve
to
fucking die on a goddamn movie set being shot by fucking Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
It was like, and number two, I feel bad for him because he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his fucking life.
He will never get away from that.
No. He took another person's fucking life.
Yeah.
That person is no longer here. Their family can't talk to him. Their friends can't talk to him. They'll never say another word. They'll never take another breath.
And what will he be remembered for from now on? Probably this.
Probably shooting and killing somebody.
Yeah. Everything he's done up till this point, his entire life, this is like the capstone.
No.
And this is what people are going to remember him for.
And
that's probably he is probably so guilt-ridden that's probably all he'll think about.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't imagine, me personally, if I accidentally shot and killed somebody, what that would do to me, because I'm a guilty person by nature anyway. Like, I feel bad.
Well, even if it wasn't an accident, I think that even if I shot and killed somebody out of self-defense, I would still feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Like, it would still bother me.
To a degree.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it would...
Because I don't want to take someone's life.
No.
I don't want to do that.
No.
It's like, do I carry a gun? Yes, because there might be an instance where I have to protect myself, or God forbid, my wife, my family, anybody else.
No.
I don't want to shoot and kill somebody. I don't want to do that. But I also don't want to see my wife get shot and killed. I don't want me to get shot and killed.
No.
You know what I mean? I would rather live with the guilt than be unnecessarily just murdered out of nowhere.
Well, yeah. But at the same time, it's if you were to shoot and kill somebody out of self-defense, like, I think my initial reaction would be, like, first of all, like, of course, like, I would be relieved the situation to end with me being dead.
Yeah.
Right? That's probably the first initial reaction that somebody would have in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
I'm sure that your emotions are all over the fucking place. Mm-hmm. But additionally, I think as you kind of work your way through whatever grief it is that you're going through, which you've shot and killed this person, it's like, how did we even get to this point?
Yeah.
Where this was even something that had to happen?
It could have been avoidable.
Yeah, this was totally avoidable. Mm-hmm. Like, how did this even happen?
Those situations like that, where somebody does get shot and killed in self-defense, are almost always 100% avoidable. It's like, there's so many different points at where that situation could have went a different direction than the one that it did.
No.
Where somebody ended up losing their life. Like, there was that guy at that gas station. I don't remember his name, but it was a black man and his wife and his son. They pulled up to a gas station, and they parked in a handicapped parking spot, and they didn't have a handicap tag. And the man and the son got out of the car, and they went inside the store. Well, this other guy pulls up, is a white guy, and he gets out, and he starts going around that car looking for a handicap tag. That's not his business.
No.
It's not his business. He starts looking for a handicap tag. He doesn't find one. He starts yelling at the lady sitting in the car. Well, the husband hears what's going on, and he goes out there and he just pushes the guy. He just shoves him. And the guy lands on his back, pulls out a gun, and shoots that man twice and kills him. So now we have a boy without a father, a wife without a husband. This man has lost his life, so a parent without a child. All because this guy, had to be...
You wanted to be the fucking handicap police. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, he didn't have to do that, but they also shouldn't have parked in that handicap spot. True. They shouldn't have done that either. But, how far back are we going to go with this? At the end of the day, somebody was unnecessarily murdered.
Your choice was to pull that gun and shoot that person.
That's the capstone on this whole thing.
Yep.
Every step, it doesn't matter what steps were taken up to that point. The last
because
and final
your
step,
ego was hurt because he shoved you to the ground.
The last and final step was that you pulled the trigger on that gun and you murdered that man. Yeah. And of course, he tried to spin it, self-defense, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no.
And if you, as a matter of fact, JCS Criminal Psychology, which is a fantastic YouTube channel, so you should go check that out. Matter of fact, we shouted him out on episode 11, when the Lost episode.
Oh, yeah.
So JCS Criminal Psychology has got a YouTube channel, and he actually covers that one. And if you listen to that guy that shot that man, explaining to the police what happened, he is so 100% dead set that he's right, that he was in the right, that what he did was correct, that he doesn't realize he's just incriminating himself with every stupid thing that comes out of his fucking mouth. It's unreal.
Well, and it was sort of like, wasn't it down in like Bartow County in Georgia, where that kid was going into like an empty house or something like that, and then those two dudes fucking...
You talking about Ahmaud Arbery?
Yeah. Did you watch the video of that?
I did. They murdered that man.
Yeah, they fucking murdered him.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened.
I remember watching. I was like, "You fucking murdered that dude."
I saw people in the comments saying like, "Oh, well, he grabbed the gun. He grabbed the gun and punched the guy.
He was trying to get away."
Yeah. It's like, well, what?
Yeah. What do you want him to do?
What's he supposed to do? These two guys jumped out of a truck and had guns on.
Yeah. What do you want him to do?
Yeah. There's a thing called fight or flight.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If he would have ran away, yes, it's speculation, but I almost guarantee that those men would have shot him anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. They had, if they shot him like they did, they planned on doing it. That's what they were going to do. Yeah.
And they believed that they were in the right.
Plain and simple. That's what they were going to do.
When the police started taking their, statement, they were 100% positive that what they did was the right thing to do.
And that's the thing too, is that when people do something heinous, like the most heinous thing that you can do is take somebody's life that is not a threat to you.
Yeah.
That's the most fucking heinous thing you can do as a human.
He was not a threat to them.
And he was not a threat to them.
It's like, it's like, should he have grabbed the gun? Well, who could say?
Yeah, who could say?
Should he have been going into houses? And from what I saw, it didn't look like he ever took anything. He was just going into houses.
I've gone into abandoned houses like that before. But like, it's a nice house. Just fucking walking around.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he should and should not have done. The fact of the matter is that they pulled a gun on him and they shot and killed him.
Yeah.
That's the capstone. That's
Absolutely.
The last thing that happened was they shot and killed him, and they didn't have to do that. They had no right to do that.
It's one of those deals where it's people who, number one, they have no respect for the weapon that they possess, and number two, they have no respect for other human life, and that's the problem. Really, that second part is the problem, because if it wasn't for the gun, they just found another way to do it. Stab him to death.
Yeah, if guns didn't exist, they would have hopped out with a fucking axe or a knife or something, or just ran him over with the fucking truck.
Ran him over with the fucking truck. It's not just guns. Like, there's all kinds of people do all kinds of heinous shit all the time. It's like, look at fucking look at the UK. Yeah. It's like their citizens aren't allowed to have pistols and shit like that. Yeah. It's like, but they run around fucking stabbing each other with fucking knives.
Yeah, chopping people's heads off.
It's not a gun problem.
Yeah.
It's a fucking people problem.
It's a humanity issue.
It's a problem with fucking people.
And it's that deeply driven us versus them mentality.
Yeah.
Like those two guys that killed Ahmaud Arbery, they were racist. They killed him because he was black.
Yeah.
If they were, first of all, if there was a white guy doing what Ahmaud Arbery did, they wouldn't have cared.
No, they wouldn't have done anything. They wouldn't have done anything.
If they did, they wouldn't have shot him. They probably would have pulled a gun on him or called the cops or something.
Yeah.
But because he was black, I 100% believe that he was killed because he was black.
I do too.
I 100% believe
Absolutely.
that's why Ahmaud Arbery lost his life. And it's the division, right? It's the division that the media pushes.
No.
And it's like we keep saying, everybody, we're not the only people saying this. It's like everybody knows what the problem is, but nobody's trying to find a solution to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's because it's hard to find that solution, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to find a solution for people problems.
Yeah.
It's easy to go, well, hey, this thing was used to kill this person.
Yeah.
So just take that thing away.
Yeah, it would be way easier to take away guns than it would be change the hearts and minds of people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too is that you can't drive ratings and make money off of telling people is like you need to have empathy for others around you because they're going through some shit too.
Yeah, people don't.
All right.
That. People want to be told that they're right for feeling the way that they feel.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like there was another shooting video that was real popular, where this man and his son were standing like next to a dumpster where somebody else dumped off like a mattress or something like that. So right off the bat, we're arguing over a mattress in a dumpster.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing?
And the guy. So the two dudes are standing there. One guy's got a shotgun, the other guy's got a pistol, and the guy is yelling at these two men with firearms. And he's shouting that he's going to kill them, and he's going to do this, and he's going to do that. Should he have done that? No. And then he swings a bat at him. Should he have done that? No.
No.
But should these two guys confronted this man with guns because he put a mattress in a dumpster? No, I don't think they should have. I mean, even if there's, like I keep saying, there's so many points where
this could have been resolved.
It could have been resolved. It could have went a different direction. Yeah. And all of this arguing and bickering and everything led to a man losing his life in front of his kids.
Yeah.
They blew his head off with a shotgun in front of his fiancée and his children. And they felt that was the right thing to do.
And I think, too, like, especially, like, as a father now, having a daughter, it changes my perspective on the way that I see people.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you expect the worst out of people?
No. So a lot of people probably already heard Joe Rogan say this, but I hadn't heard him say this before I thought of it.
Yeah.
It was like once like I had Autumn, I was like, oh, we're just all grown babies. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Like, where did this go wrong for this baby? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, instead of being like, oh, this person's fucked, they've always been fucked, like, they can't be saved, like,
yeah,
of course, there's some people like that, like Ted Bundy and shit like that, but,
eating people's
biceps eating people's eyeballs out of their heads and shit, but it's like,
well, even then, could Ted Bundy have been changed?
Who knows? Who fucking knows?
There had to be something along the way, right?
Who fucking knows? Nobody fucking knows, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't see people as grown-ups anymore. I see them as babies that have grown up, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, where in this process did this baby that essentially doesn't know anything and relies on the world around it to take care of it and to make sure that it's raised with love and empathy, that this baby grows up and it doesn't get any of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe this baby had one experience that changed it completely for the rest of its life.
And nobody would ever know what that thing was.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, too, is a lot of times when people go through, like, traumatic experiences that radically changes their thought process or radically changes them as a person, it's like, it's painful, and they don't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. It's like, think of some of your most painful memories. Is that something you want to talk about? Mm. No.
Yeah, not really.
Not really. I'd like to keep that deep down inside. I don't want to talk about it.
Put the cork on it.
Yeah, put the cork on it. We're not going to open that back up again. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, just like we always say, like, try to have empathy for other people. Yeah. Like, most of the time, like, if you show empathy towards other people, they go, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Like, you're showing me empathy. I will show you empathy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but a lot of times you're not going to get that from other people. Yeah. Like, you have to be the one to sort of initiate that.
Well, yeah, because usually when you're in an instance where you have to be the one to show empathy to somebody, it's already like a really heated situation.
Yeah.
It's like it's already kind of come to a point where, both parties are kind of are really high on this the anger or whatever it happens to be.
Well, even too, it's like you can go into like a store or whatever. It's like simply by just telling. Like I remember the other day I went in to get my eye exam done and everything, and like I was buying my glasses and all that shit. And before I left, I was like, "Thank you so much for your help. I hope you have a really great day."
Yeah.
And the lady was like taken aback.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you too." I was like, "Do people not tell you that?"
Yeah. Yeah. Are people not just generally just
are
assholes?
people not generally just pleasant people? You know what I mean?
You know, I feel like I have more good interactions with people than I do have bad interactions with people.
Yeah.
But I couldn't sit here and recite to you every good interaction I've had with a person.
No.
But I could tell you most of the bad ones I've had.
I can tell you most of the bad ones, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, I had talked about, you know, if you're the kind of person that, you know, blows up on customer service people, like you're scum.
Yeah.
I saw that again the other day. So right down the road here, there's a gas station that sells biscuits in the morning. Like, you know, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, chicken biscuit, steak biscuit, whatever you do. It's called Grand's, and it's fantastic, and it's a vice.
Yeah.
I went in there the other day to get some biscuits for me and Mary, and the line was really long. Usually, that's an indication that if there's this many people willing to wait a long time for this thing,
It's probably pretty good.
it's probably pretty good.
No.
Well, the dude in front of me, so we finally get, you know, to the front, and the line's moved along pretty good. We get to the front, and he gets up and he says, "Yeah, I want a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with a fried egg." And she goes, "Oh, we don't have any fried eggs right now, but we're making some." And he goes, "Oh!" and storms out. And he goes, "Oh, fuck this!" And he makes this big thing about it.
Yeah.
And he walks out.
Oh, you couldn't get your fried egg?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, thank God that's where that ended, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's the kind of person to do that, he's only a couple steps away from me, like, "You fucking bitch!" You know,
Acting like that kid in Kroger.
yeah. So like, how did he not, you know, think, "Oh, that makes sense that they don't have fried eggs because they're very busy. They're running through a lot of product right now."
Yeah.
And she said, "Where we got some down, we're working on it." How fucking long does it take to fry an egg? No time at all.
Yeah.
You know, and me and like everybody else just looked at this guy, and it's not like he walked out of there the victor.
Yeah.
He probably thought that he did. Like I showed them by having my little hissy fit. We all thought he was a fucking idiot, and he is a fucking idiot.
The only time that I ever get like that is when I'm having to deal with any governmental agency. That's the only time. The DMV, the fucking IRS, any of that shit.
Oh my God.
I get so mad. So fucking mad.
The thing I don't get.
Because it's like I shouldn't have to be in this position at all.
Yeah. Anyway, I shouldn't have to be here.
I shouldn't have to be here.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're deciding to work this job. Oh yeah, you're gonna get it today.
I mean, I've never been ugly to anybody at the DMV before, but it's like,
no.
I hate going in there because like every experience I've ever had at the DMV,
it's bad. It's all bad.
It's like you get up to the counter and you're missing something.
No.
I have never once in my life made it to the counter at the DMV and had everything that I needed. It's like, "Oh, you're supposed to have the blue form with the A on the front." It's like, well, nobody fucking told me that.
No.
Nowhere did it say, "You're the first person."
Yeah.
You know? And the thing that gets me about the IRS is they will let you know that you owe them money.
Oh yeah.
They will not let you know that they owe you money.
That's right.
And they know how much money you owe them.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't pay them that money, you go to jail.
Yep. Guess what? Somebody's coming to your house with a gun and they're taking you away.
Yeah. So it's like, why? If you know, just tell me.
Yeah.
Just tell me what I owe.
Yeah.
I will pay it so I don't have to fucking deal with you.
You cunt fuck.
Man, the fucking government agencies, and they almost never do what they're supposed to do.
No, they never do. They're all bullshit.
Look at some of like the worst things that have happened in you know,
it's all government.
Yeah, like
all of it's the government.
Like the domestic terrorism, like stuff that's happened here, like mass shootings. You know, they knew all about that motherfucker that shot up the country music festival in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah,
they knew all about that motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
and 50 fucking people died.
Yep,
they knew that he was going to do something.
By the way, do you remember back when Columbine happened?
Well, I mean, I know of it, but
okay.
I don't think I was like...
So, I think that happened
before I was born.
No. That happened like in 96, I think. So, you've
4.
probably been pretty young.
I'd been 4 years
So,
old.
I was 7 when that happened. So, I kind of remember what happened. The thing that I remember what happened was that I remember that the police were standing outside and they would not go in.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
I was like, you fucks, get in there.
Yeah.
As like, you decided that you wanted to do this job, get your ass in there. I don't give a fuck if they got fucking AK-47s and fucking RPGs. Yeah. It does not fucking matter. You get in there and you help those fucking kids. Yeah. I don't want to hear nothing about anything else.
They were just walking around slaughtering kids.
Yep.
You know, I've seen countless documentaries and things about Columbine because it's so intriguing to me how somebody could do that. How do you just start slaughtering people? It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? So it's like they did most of their killing in the library.
Yeah.
And so like those recreations are based off of like, people who were there witnessed everything. And they would just like see a person hiding under a desk and stick a shotgun in their face and kill them.
No.
I just don't understand how. You know what I mean? That
Well,
motherfucker that busted out that window in the Bellagio, wherever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And fired down into the crowd of those people. How do you do that? How did you do that? I couldn't do that. I don't have it in me to commit that kind of atrocity.
Just fucking spraying ammunition all over the fucking place.
And it kills me that the FBI, they fucking knew about him. They had a file on him. Nicholas Cruz, that fucking shot up Sandy Hook, they knew about him. They were watching him. Didn't do a goddamn thing.
Nope.
He fucking killed all those people. The dude that shot up the Aurora Theater in Colorado, FBI knew about that guy. Didn't do a goddamn thing.
Nope.
And he murdered people.
Yep.
How many fucking times does the FBI have to fucking fail and let people lose their lives?
Not only that, but there's actually documented cases where the FBI has done this thing where they've went and they've gotten into contact with like young like Arab men and stuff, and they've slowly radicalized them and then had them commit atrocities and then arrest them and say, oh, we arrested a terrorist. It's like, no, you created a terrorist and then you arrested that person.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. Fucking San Bernardino, they knew about those two. They knew all about those two. They had a profile on them. What happened? The guy that fucking shot up the YouTube headquarters. They had a profile on that guy. He was able to do it anyway. The motherfucker that shot up the gay nightclub in Orlando.
Yeah, knew about it.
Who at the time, that was the worst one before Las Vegas happened. They knew about that.
They knew about it. They all know about it.
How are they still an institution? They have done nothing but fail.
Not only that, but you look at like all the released documents of like the Operation Northwoods and all that shit, where they were going to blow up a goddamn airliner above Miami so they get in a war with Cuba. It's like the government is constantly doing shady shit, like all the time.
How do you pull the covers over your shoulders and lay your head down on your pillow at night after making that kind of a call? It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, and I think too, like, and I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not a fucking cop, so I don't know. But I know the person that I am. And if I was outside of a goddamn high school or even a fucking elementary school, like where I hear gunshots going off inside
and
there,
children screaming.
Guess what? Yeah. I'm fucking going in there, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Yeah. I will kill you to get in there to kill him. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to stop it. It's going to stop.
There was that one cop that they got up on his ass because he was hiding. Remember? But, I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm speculating that that's what I do. I feel like that's what I would do, but I've never been in that situation before. Like, I've played paintball. I'm hunkered down because I didn't want to get shot.
No.
But there's nothing on the line, right? I don't know. It's hard to say. But maybe we should be empathetic towards those police officers who are too cowardly to do anything.
I think it also changes because I am a father and I do have a child.
Yeah.
It's like I cannot fucking imagine hearing those kids screaming in there and me not going in there to do something about it.
Imagine being on the receiving end of that phone call. You get a phone call that, God forbid, whatever school Autumn's going to, there's an active shooter there.
No. Guess what? I'm going up there.
Yeah.
I'm going if I.
And you're probably not the only one who would.
Yeah, I'm going up there, and guess what? I'm gonna go in that fucking school, and I'm gonna find that fuck, and I'm gonna kill him.
There was the guy.
Like, it's gonna happen.
There was the guy at the is it Tennessee or Texas? Was up on the library.
Oh, that was Austin.
Was it Austin, Texas?
It was Austin, Texas, the University of Austin.
He was up on the library and he was shooting people.
He's up in the bell tower.
The bell tower.
Yep, the bell tower.
He was way up there.
Mm-hmm.
And folks just started turning up with rifles.
Yep, shooting right back at him.
So went to war with this motherfucker.
I love Texas.
Oh my God, nobody does it like Texas. I swear to God. But yeah, I mean, could you imagine, like, if a fucking militia of parents rolled
armed
up,
to the fucking
just rolled
teeth
up on Sandy Hook and hunted that motherfucker down,
and flayed him like a fucking fish.
Yeah.
Brought him out in front of everybody, in front of the flayed man, like
like upside down on a burning cross or some shit. They wheeled him out. There's your heretic. Fucking. Who's another one? Fucking. There's too many to name, right? Dylan Roof.
Yeah, that's
Went
another
to
one.
a church and shot those 9 people.
Yep.
A church. I mean, they were like. From what I remember, they welcomed him in there.
It was like Christchurch, where that dude went down there and was fucking shooting all those people in fucking New Zealand.
I saw the video. Did
and
you
he
see
fucking.
the video?
I saw right up until he started shooting people.
I saw the whole thing. It's just. I just don't understand it. And when you watch and you see that thing happen, it's kind of like.
I also think
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think that's important too. That I think people need to see it.
Oh yeah,
I think
I don't think that stuff should be censored.
No. I don't think it should be censored either. I think that you should see it. I think everybody needs to understand.
I don't think that there's. I don't think. Okay, there are going to be people who glorify it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that the majority of people are going to be repulsed by it. You know, like I was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's one part of that video that's never going to leave me, and it's when he was leaving. And there was a woman who he had injured when the whole thing started, and she had made her way outside, and she was crawling down the sidewalk, bleeding to death. And she didn't realize who it was that was walking up behind her, and she said, "Please help me." And he just shoots her in the head with a shotgun. I don't, like I keep saying, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't compute in my fucking head. How can you do that to a
just
person?
the lack of humanity.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you're a fucking animal.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point, and it's just as me speaking out of my ass, but at that point, that to me, that's not a person anymore.
Yeah. That's not something a person does.
Yeah, that's not something that a person does. So that's not a person to me anymore. I don't know what that is.
A person gets upset about fried eggs.
Yeah, a person gets upset about fried eggs and makes a big huff and walks out. Like,
a person doesn't violently murder a bunch of people who are just at church.
No.
Minding their own business.
No. Like, what kind of fucking psychopath?
Well, he was radicalized to think that, all Muslims are his enemy and shit like that. I mean,
do you think that has a lot to do with, like, mainstream media and how they kind of push and fearmonger a lot of that shit? And it kind of drives division between people.
Yeah, I do think that's a lot of it. But I think at the same time, too, that they try to, when the media is aware of that, they overcorrect.
No.
Like, do you remember when Sweden was there was a refugee crisis over there in Europe?
Yep.
And they were importing all those refugees from third world countries.
Yeah, was it Syria?
Syria.
A lot of them from Syria and, like, Afghanistan and stuff like that.
And so they were having issues where people were being, beheaded and raped and things like that.
No.
And they wouldn't say that it was Syrians that were doing it when it was. They were saying Asian men. Because technically, yes, they're from Asia.
That's a mischaracterization.
Yeah. But people were seeing that and they were getting mad. Like, why aren't you saying who it is?
Yeah.
And that pissed them off, and that made them hate those people.
Yeah.
It's not the people as a whole. It's you have to understand also that these people are coming from a totally different culture.
Yeah.
The way I'm looking at it is, if you are going to take in refugees from a third world country, that does from a completely different society than yours, almost like the foil to your society, they should not be allowed to intermingle with your society. If you're giving them safe haven, that's totally fine. They should not be allowed to intermingle unless they can show that they can operate within that society. Because that's
if they
how you
can operate like within your set of rules.
Yes, because that's how you wind up with people getting raped and beheaded and shit.
I think a lot of it is people can smell bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what a lot of it is. People can smell bullshit, and they know when you're trying to bullshit them, and just like I know that like for me, like if somebody is doing some shit like you just said, like where it's like you're not being truthful about what the matter is, like it makes me really angry. Yeah. Really angry. It makes me really mad because it's like you're not representing what the truth is. It's like you're doing this weird like mental gymnastics thing to try to like,
and the blame's going to fall on somebody.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It needs to at least fall on the perpetrator.
Yeah. It's like it would be one thing if probably the best course of action would to state truthfully what it is, and then be like, look. Be like, yes, it is Syrians that are doing this. Mm-hmm. It is. That's the truth. Be like, however, it's like, just because some of them are doing it doesn't mean that all of them are doing it.
A lot of them are staying with their families and not causing any trouble.
Exactly.
They're grateful to be away from their war-torn country.
Exactly.
That we're partially responsible for.
Yeah.
You know?
Imagine.
Yeah, so.
Imagine that we have a fucking failed state that we created, and now they're coming over here and they're beheading us.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to, it was like the 2007 Republican primary where Ron Paul got up in front of like the primary in South Carolina? Mm-hmm. So he got up there and essentially told them, he was like, here's all the reasons why they hate us. And he was like, CIA, overthrown government, coups, the CIA giving them weapons.
Yeah.
It's like, so we keep them in this constant state of flux. Yeah. It's like, and then we're bombing their children, bombing their fucking women. Yeah. It's like killing all these people. Like, imagine that somebody would be like, we really hate those motherfuckers because they won't leave us alone. Yeah. And they keep coming over.
They don't know who's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
You're painted up with American flags, and they know exactly who's doing that shit.
Not only to mention, it's like Osama bin Laden knew exactly what he was doing when he did what he did. Yeah. He was like, okay, I'll drag them over here, and I'll just spin them into debt. As like, I'll collapse the empire.
Yeah.
Good luck. Have fun.
Have fun with the endless war.
I know you'll eventually catch me, but guess what? I'm going to destroy your country in the process.
He does. This is an aside, but do you know that when they raided his compound, they found an anime body pillow?
No!
And he had like terabytes of
porn?
Of hentai.
Oh yeah, I've heard
he was way into the anime.
Yeah, I had heard that they found like just massive amounts of porn.
Yeah,
just everywhere.
Oh yeah,
and it was like. So it's funny too because he was all about like, oh, this is like a holy war and all this shit.
Yeah, meanwhile like, he's jerking off the tentacle.
Yeah, jerking off to fucking all this nastiness.
Going to sleep with his anime body pillow. Oh my god. Maybe we got to watch out for weeboos.
Maybe
they're the issue.
Speaking of weeboos. Did anybody? I hope that all of you got to watch the Super Cringe Thursday.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
I saw on Reddit, it looked like they took the post down.
What?
At least I saw like a little caption up at the top. I don't know if because I saw it before or whatever, that it was still showing it to me, but it was like, this goes against like guidelines and all that other shit or whatever. Look it up and see if it's still up there.
Let me check right quick.
So
sorry about that.
So for anybody that hasn't seen it already, there is, I'm assuming it's a gentleman that
well, there's a trans flag in the background.
Oh, is
so
there?
You need to be careful with that.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a they, and
the link still works.
The link still does work?
Yeah.
Ugh, I hear it.
Yeah, there's a trans flag in the background.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
There's a they.
Is that what a trans flag looks like?
Yeah, the blue, pink, white, pink, blue. That's the transgender flag.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I'm not talking about their gender identity.
We are not talking about gender
identity. That's not what's on
and all
display
that
here
shit.
in this video.
I'm talking about the fucking absurdity of this fucking video. What in the world possessed this person to think that this was a good fucking idea?
And they look very young. You know,
oh, yeah,
and so
absolutely.
The thing
this
that
person
gets
doesn't
me,
look like they're any more than 17 years old.
No. I mean, and that's up there, man. That's on the internet. I'm looking at the fucking Reddit post right now. It's got 5.4 thousand upvotes, right? So at the very least...
It's a hard one to watch.
At the very least...
It's a hard one to watch.
5,000 people have seen it, man. That's why I'm so glad. I'm so glad that the internet wasn't like... When I was a kid, like it is now. And it's so easy now to put shit on the internet, right?
Yeah.
You can immediately just, write your fucking tombstone in a moment. In a fucking moment.
Well, he's writing it in the death notes.
Well. Also, isn't there... It doesn't, like, as soon as you record it, it's not immediately on the internet, right? Like, you had to record it.
Yeah, I don't think that this person probably streamed it.
And then review it.
Yeah.
And then say, that's it.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Post.
Yeah. Ugh.
So I don't know what they were expecting, or maybe it just got outside of the group it was intended for. But...
Well, I'm interested to find out what kind of tribe this person runs in.
Well, looking at the trans flag in the background, I could probably take a few solid guesses.
So let's take it. Let's do a what if game. So let's say that this trans person, decides that, I'm going to post this to whatever trans Reddit community post or Tumblr or whatever other shit they post to, and they post it, right? There's probably some people in the trans community like, what the fuck is this dude doing?
Yeah. There's no way 100% of them are on board with it.
No.
And, and even if they were, there's got to be some lurkers in there who are looking for this kind of shit right here.
Oh, yeah.
They're digging for gold.
Well, also, isn't it interesting that, like, when you see stuff like that you're like, oh, there's like a trans flag in the background, and then you just assume that, like, that's sort of what trans people are into. It's like you're assuming that the trans community is a fucking monolith, and they all think the same fucking way.
Well, yeah, and they're not.
It's and they don't.
People are nuanced,
yeah,
of course.
It's like, so I'm going to take a guess that there was probably some trans person in that group was like, what the fuck is this?
I just, I believe it's supposed to be a lip sync video.
Oh, those are the worst.
So even more egregious is the fact that it's not a good lip sync video.
Yeah, it's real bad.
You're missing a lot of the cues.
Yeah, it's real bad. It's really bad. I'm confused by the song and the Death Note book, and
yeah, none of it really meshes.
Yeah, none of it regardless of whatever this person looks like. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is just the fucking absurdity of the video.
Yeah, there's a lot of different themes going on.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot going on in this one video.
There was a lot to unpack here. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. I saw some people in the comments saying that the person had fetal alcohol syndrome, and that we shouldn't be making fun of them for their looks. I'm not making fun of them for their looks, but also that just kind of seems like something you pulled out of your ass. Like, how do you know?
Are you a doctor?
Yeah, I know. I've seen people.
Are you this person's primary care physician?
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
And also, look, if you are posting a video or a picture of yourself to a public forum,
you're gonna get it.
You're gonna get it.
You're gonna get it
from somebody.
Yeah, from somebody.
Even if it's 1 out of a million, somebody's gonna give it to you. And here's the thing: it's like you can't post that kind of shit and then turn around and tell people to not make fun of the way somebody looks.
Yeah.
You post it in a public forum, right?
Yep. It's out there for everybody.
Is it a good thing to make fun of people for their looks? No. That's a bad thing. And we're not doing that right here.
No.
We're just looking at what this is as a whole.
It's wild. It's fucking wild.
Everything we're looking at here with the bow on it and everything. It's just like, I just keep saying, man, it could have been me.
Oh, yeah.
It could have easily
been me or you.
Yeah, it's like, you remember when, like, we were kids, and, like, when kids play with toys and you kind of just, like, are making up dumb shit and saying dumb shit?
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine if any of that was chronicled?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, I saw something the other day where it was, like, way back in the day. Like, back in 2007, let's say. And Facebook said, hey, you've got a memory from 2007.
Ugh.
And I was like, oh, God, what is this? And so I go and look, and it was like, and it's funny because at the time, I don't think anybody kind of understood, like, what, like, Facebook kind of really was.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was, like, talking, like, in third person.
Yeah.
Because, like, your name would pop up at the front, and you're like, oh, like,
it's going to the store.
Yeah, is going somewhere.
Yeah.
And mine was like, is having a bad day. And I was like, oh, no!
You were an attention whore.
I was like, no, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I guess that's the worst of it. At least it's just that.
Yeah. You know, and that's something that I cringe at, is people that just, like, are just vomiting their emotions out into
so
social media.
bad.
I've got a bunch of people on Snapchat that just blah, 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 blah into the camera for,
Oh, God.
for like, going on upwards of 10 minutes. Like, how do you, how do you make the decision? Yeah, that's a good post.
Well,
Send it out.
I think a lot of people see, like, famous people do that shit now, right? Like, where it's just like they do, like, these monologues.
Yeah, very true.
It's just like these monologues of, like, the stream of consciousness where it's just like, I'm mad about this and I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And they just get to talking about it, and everybody goes, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they go in there and they talk about their fucking boyfriend and their wife and their husband and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, fucking again. God damn it.
I'm gonna have to bleep that out because the person I was talking about is named that.
Oh, really?
Holy shit. That's hilarious. Yeah. I was just thinking too, like, man, I don't have a whole lot of editing to do in this episode.
There you go. There's one.
There's some work for me.
But yeah, it's just.
Now wait a second. Do we need to be a little bit reflective here?
Yeah, that's true.
Me and you kind of do the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, I do the same thing. I do the same thing with, like, hey, the government's fucking you. You need to pay attention.
No, I mean our podcast.
Oh, yeah, we do the same. Yeah, okay.
We sit here, we just, spill our thoughts and everything.
Yeah,
but at
true,
the same time,
true.
you have to go out of your way to get to us.
That's
right?
true.
We're not mixed in the middle of everything else that you're seeing.
That's true. I guess so. It is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I was like, but at the same time, we do the same thing. So, however, in our defense, it's like I don't feel like we're putting our fucking family shit on blast the whole time we're on here.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is a little bit different.
Yeah,
I would say
it is a little bit different. But we do see the comparison.
Yes,
we're
absolutely.
Aware of it.
Yes.
Yeah. We're not trying to be hypocrites.
No.
And if we are, feel free to leave a comment and shoot us an email and let us know.
Hey, there you go.
We will air your grievances right here on the show.
I know, and nobody's done it yet. I'm so disappointed. We're fucking 17 episodes in, which, by the way...
Surely we pissed somebody off.
By the way, did you know that we're almost at our 1-year anniversary of the podcast?
Yeah, we had brought that up.
November 16th was our very first aired episode of the podcast.
Wow,
yes.
We're getting close.
So we're coming up on 1 year.
Yeah.
So...
You think we'll hit 20 episodes in a year?
No way. No way. We'll do better next year.
Yeah, we kind of picked up momentum right here at the end.
Yeah.
But I can't believe it's only been a year.
I know.
It seems like it's been a lot longer than that.
It does. Seems like we've been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
It feels like. Yeah. Not like in a bad way, but just,
Yeah. It just kind of feels like part of life.
You know what I really would
recording the podcast.
Yeah, you know what I really would like to do, like for the podcast, just every once in a while, is to have like a guest on.
Yeah.
Maybe like we find somebody that like writes like an interesting book that really nobody knows about. Make him like bring them on the podcast. Maybe like in a Zoom call or something like that. Talk to them about the book if we both like it or whatever. That'd be something interesting that we could do.
That would be cool. Yeah, we could have subject somebody to
Yeah.
to our brand of insanity.
Our fucking nonsense.
Yeah, there's lots of different things we could do. We'll try and spice things up going into season 2 of the Thicc Bois
there we go.
podcast. But it looks like that's about it for time today. You know, we had mentioned that we get pretty deep on our Zoom call podcast, so we got pretty deep on this one too.
Yeah,
we just have a propensity to do that.
I guess we
believe.
do. It just kind of veered into that lane, didn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening today. We hope that you enjoyed yourselves. Be on the lookout for more episodes to come. Wesley, do you have anything you'd like to close out with?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Let's hear it.
So right now, you can't see it, you all, but I have something sitting right in front of me.
Oh, it's been sitting there this whole time.
That has been sitting here this whole time that I happened to pick up while I was out on a job in Pennsylvania. That I think that this is probably going to get uploaded to the YouTube channel as our first video. Then we talked about that.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, I gotta get that thing set up, and
Okay, so be on the lookout.
but we'll post it on Facebook too.
We'll post it on Facebook too. I think that we can probably do this as a dual release. I think maybe we can, once we release the podcast Tuesday morning, maybe around lunchtime or so, we can release this this video we're getting ready to record here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, well, it just depends on how long it takes me to get it all edited together.
That's
and
true.
everything.
Yeah. Okay, so
But-
you'll get it when you fucking get it, all right?
Yeah, you should all be used to that by now.
You ungrateful fucks.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was funny because I saw that and I was like, I'm not going to do that to Wes. So then you just sent me a picture of it. You're like, hey, look what we're doing.
I was like, hey, he likes spicy stuff. All right, we'll do that.
Oh, well, I guess there's a little bit of a
A little teaser
Ooh.
there.
Yeah, we're getting ready to do that right now, actually. So
We need to go get some milk.
yeah, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, thanks again, everybody, for listening. We really super appreciate all the support and
Absolutely.
everybody who's listened. And you know, we broke 1,000 downloads not too long
A
ago.
couple episodes ago. Yeah.
But we'll have the stickers, coming pretty soon, and yeah, there's lots of good stuff on the horizon there.
Yep. Just thank you so much for everybody for your continued support. It really does. It means a lot to us because we do enjoy doing the podcast. So all the support really does. It
I
means a
feel
lot.
like even if we were only at like 300 downloads,
I
we'd
wouldn't
still
give
be
a
doing
fuck.
this.
I wouldn't give a
So
fuck. I'd keep doing it.
We just like doing it. But yeah. Well, I guess that's the podcast. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye, everybody.